Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be playing our first thematic build of the early access, and that is Bleed. Now before we get into the video, only 5% of my viewers are actually subscribed. So guys, hit that subscribe button, like the video and comment down below which is the next thematic build that you would like to see. So for this build, we are using the Barbarian. We are going to be using his Tribal War Axes, which start off with the Bleed skill. We will keep it if we don't get everything that we want, otherwise it will be one of the skills that we do remove. But otherwise, that's that. It does give us extra crit, armor and cast frequency, and the movement speed we will get while we level up. Now runes, we go for Purity because we are only going to be doing weakness if we're lucky enough to get it. Bleed, fragility and slow, so we should have still 30% bonus damage from purity, which is fantastic, 40% from focused fire. Generalist gives us a whack ton up to about 40% if not more, depending on our active skills. Arcane, skill mastery arcane for our survivability as we go for arcane shield. And multicast mastery, this is just a personal preference. You can go for any other rune that has a 2 cost to it. We could actually, we'll do it this run because of the build being thematic. We will actually land up taking the weapon expert so that we can grab ourselves a Tribal War Axe. Now we're going to demo this on Curse 4. Just because for Curse 5 and Curse 6 you really got to have some decent RNG, and yeah, well, that can take multiple tries. So we're just going to show it. If we don't get everything, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to speak about absolutely everything that we need for the build to be 100% perfect for your Curse 6 or Curse 5, but hopefully it is going to be decent enough to be a video. So first level up doesn't always matter that much, so we wait for our second skill point. If you're wondering why I don't do the auto level up, I feel like I have a decent chunk of more luck or better RNG when I level up myself. I've always had this thing where if I take like 3 or 4 levels at once, I always seem to be luckier than if I level up on like automatically. Just a personal thing, it's just something silly, not really superstitious, just silly. I did play at a time with auto level up on. Alright, so we don't need armor, area of effect for swing is very nice here, and we got our first buff. Now, Scent of Blood is probably the most detrimental skill for this build. We go Scent of Blood, we go Bloodlust, and we go Piercing Shout and Arcane Power. Now this is for your Curse 5 or Curse 6 runs. You could just mess around and do whatever you feel might benefit it other ways. But for me, it was these these skills, just because of how they all worked well together and how much damage bonuses and cast frequency and things like that they give. Arcane Shield is a definite if you're doing Curse 5 and Curse 6. I have tried plenty of times to survive, and when you are playing with Bladestorm and Flurry, which is what we are going to be doing, it is extremely difficult to get close to the bosses and live without that type of defense. Alright, so damage for swing, Bloodlust. Again guys, I'm getting very lucky with my level ups here, as you can see. Just we have insane luck, so you know, don't try this at home. Again, this is why we're doing it on Curse 4, because it isn't always this lucky. So far, with the amount of buffs I've been getting, we probably would have succeeded in doing Curse 5. Arcane Shield is a must for Curse 6. Curse 5, you could do it with just really good RNG like this. I have done Endless with this as well, and you can definitely beat 5 and 6 with it. I mean 4 and 5, I did get to the end of 4 and beat it, and then I just left because, well, I kept getting Fallen Knight and he just made me scared. Not really. But he is quite hectic, especially when they just run and slide because they have so much movement speed. It's pretty funny to see. Alright, so let's see. Unlucky over here with a couple of rerolls, unfortunately. So last reroll, we're going to take Tartan Cleaver just because it fits the swing. Get rid of Leviathan. Take cast frequency there. Some movement speed. It would be nice to go with Shrapnel just for the bleed. I am actually going to... Nah, we're not. Cast frequency. We don't want to level up our double slash. Like I said, it is more than likely that we are going to remove it. We're just looking for 2 other skills instead. And that will replace our Tartans and our double slash. You could keep it if you like double slash and you wanted it to be the skill, your go-to skill. There are 3 skills I'm missing though, so I don't have space for it, and it's just too close of combat for me to want to keep it. Again, so we are looking to get our crit up to over 50%, and then we can go for crit damage as well. We're going to grab some cast frequency. Subdue will be better here than Tartan's Cleaver, so we will replace that, but we aren't really looking for Subdue either, but it's probably one of the best replacements that you can get for the build because of how it works with bleed. If you don't find your arcane power or blade storm. You definitely need flurry as that is our main bleed skill, but as you can see we're not having the luck of finding it unfortunately. But we will get it eventually, it's just taking its sweet time to pop up. Okay, we're gonna take a touch of ice, hoping for some hypothermia. The other not active skills, I would say passive skills that we're looking for are gangrene, which turns fragility into bleed. We're then looking for brutal strikes, which is 50% chance to cause bleed on critical strikes. And hypothermia, which is slow to fragility, as well as exposed weakness, which is crits have a chance to cause exposure or weakness, which then makes us deal more bleed stats. Alright, so we go for crit, still not getting what we want unfortunately. Duration of Scent of Blood, fragility or frailty in this case, and some movement speed. And finally we got ourselves our flurry. So we're going to replace double slash with flurry. Now, Blade Storm is fantastic if we get the other buffs, but the main thing is our flurry, and that is for the bleed. Obviously, we're doing a bleed build, so without having flurry, it would be difficult to do the build that we were looking for, at least damage-wise and quickness-wise. So yay, we got the skill we're looking for. Alright, we don't want Poisonous Blood, you don't want the poison, that's 5% less damage that you'll be doing. There's a nice legendary physical, and here is our Blade Storm, so we can now get rid of... Which one do we get rid of? I think we keep Subdue. For 16 and a plus fragility, yeah. Alright, so we keep ourselves Subdue just because of the fragility that it has, of, extra damage. Although throwing axe deals a lot of damage, the Subdue for me is just better, but that's up to you guys. We do land up getting rid of both of them anyway when you have the full build because you need arcane power. Again, that's why we're doing our low curse level, just so that we know that we are going to survive, because, well, we've been practicing this for a bit before we made the video, just to make sure that I knew exactly how it worked, and that it did work. and I wanted to test the limits by doing the most amount of curse possible as I could, as well as endless level for people who are interested as to what endless it could go up to. So I did make it to endless 5. Well, the beginning of it I didn't actually go into endless 5, but at least you know it is possible to. Alright, so area of effect, potency, we can go a bit faster now, so we want area of effect for Bladestorm. Area of effect for empowering isn't that important, but we're going to banish block, so we're going to go for potency of piercing shout. Again, well, I don't know if I even went over this. Piercing shout weakens all nearby enemies, so it reduces their armor by X amount. Potency increases the amount it's lowered, and that just makes it so we deal more damage to those enemies. Alright, fantastic. Now we need more crit and more damage for Bladestorm. So Flurry and Bladestorm are our main damage dealers, or our only damage dealers, and we just complement them with the 4 buffs. So Scent of Blood makes it so that our Flurry hits like a truck. We stab them like there's no tomorrow. I'm actually going to turn up my graphic settings. Sorry, there are times where I lower it just because of how crazy it can sometimes get. Just so you guys can see the skills a bit better. And you can see how much more lively, or like ambient lighting and things like that, just how it changes the setting feel of the game. But I actually have felt that if you have your settings on medium, the game feels more like realistic, like it's more gloomy. So you feel like, okay, well, this is the kind of world that you are living in right now. Okay, we still need more crit. I don't know how or what the prerequisites of getting like Brutal Strike is. I don't know if it's random. Just RNG, or if you need a certain amount of crit before it shows up. Also, I know a lot of people don't kill these crystal towers. I don't like having to dodge so many AoEs on the floor, so I prioritize killing the towers. Even in my Curse 5, Curse 6 and Curse 7 runs, I will make it my mission to kill them, as well as the Void Hunters being extremely irritating. And we don't like them, so we like to kill them. We prioritize all that over the bosses, and like I said, probably, well, I don't think I did say this, the Prophetess is probably the hardest boss for us, along with the Deathbringer, and the reason for that is we have a certain range limit, and she tends to always use, as soon as you get close, she uses this big AoE, and that just stops us from getting close to them. So we are a damage over time build, so we do need to constantly hit things to get our bleed stacks as well as our fragility and frailty and all of that going. So if we're not continuously hitting enemies, we are losing out on damage. Alright, so let's go. So we haven't seen arcane power, unfortunately, and that's fine. You don't need it when you're doing like low tier stuff. I would definitely say that you need it by the time you're doing like endless. By the time you get to endless 2, if you don't have it, you might need to restart the run, just because the bosses get very, very fast and they will end up killing you very quickly, unless you're very good at dodging. Oh. Alright, so we died once there. There goes the perfect run. Thank you, fire. Let's kill the fire guy first, because that's just irritating. And now we can focus on Alexei, who isn't too bad. Probably one of the easiest bosses in the game, except for when he puts poison on the floor everywhere. That's probably why I hate the snakes as well. They just poison everything. Also, it's too bright with the graphics on so high. So we can go for that. Multicast area, that's fantastic. We can go a little bit more movement speed, that's okay. Cast frequency there's fine. Cast frequency there's great. Yeah, I prefer the duller background. That yellow is a bit much. Alright, let's go. Okay, and then the final bosses are going to be showing up soon. Again, guys, this is why I say that the build is very RNG based, especially for high curses. As you can see, we never saw Arcane Shield once this round, and that would mean that unless we are super good with our dodges, which I mean we already died here in Curse 4, we're more than likely going to die in Curse 5 and 6. Still very cool build, very fun to play, and yeah, you guys can let me know what you think about it and how you would maybe change up the skills for bleed. Obviously, I know that you can play slam skills. These are obviously thrusting and swing. I know that slam also has hemorrhaging, like your shockwave and demolish, and I know they're also very strong for this kind of thing, but I wanted to do a flurry blade storm build, and that's what we got. So yay, vicious strike at the very end there. Nice. So again, we didn't really want to upgrade the subdue, and we got some really nice damage down there on Blade Storm. As you can see, it was our main focus. But again, RNG wise, we never got gangrene, we didn't get hypothermia, we didn't get our brutal strikes. So there is a whack ton of RNG that could make this even stronger. But it is what it is. We showed it. This is the bleed build, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Cheers.